The Orlando real estate market is going to crash. Sorry, I couldn't think of a more creative intro for these type of videos. I've done so many now. But let's dive into the Orlando market report. We're going to be looking over the month of September because that's the latest data that we have on a month-to-month basis. Inventory is up 10.5%. month over month. We're down though 1.8% year over year, so not too terrible. Overall, I'm pretty pleased with that. Comparative to 2019, I don't know why I checked, but I just wanted to check pre-pandemic, we had 7,784 units in the month of September. Average mortgage rate was under 4% at that time. Where we are right now in regards to inventory, at least, I don't think we're in a terrible spot. It could be better. I think once it gets, or if it gets into the 7,000s, that's going to be pretty normal for Orlando. That was pretty consistent between 2017, 2018, 2019, anywhere bouncing between the mid 7s and the mid 8,000s in regards to total homes available for sale, which is what inventory is. So not terrible. We're definitely continuing to grow in that aspect. We are down month over month 2.1% in new listings, but we are up 6.8% year over year. Going down to new contracts, pendings, and closed sales, we are down in all of those categories, both month over month and year over year. For new contracts, we are down 9.5% month over month, down 10.4% year over year. This is going to be the first time I've ever actually looked at the report while reading the numbers. Total pendings are down 8.9% month over month, 13.4% year over year. Closed sales are down 8.4% month over month and 5.9% year over year. I think I've said this before in one of these market reports, but the percentages can seem exorbitant at first, but when you actually look at the number comparison, it's not that much to be 100 or 200 units off, but it is something to keep in consideration when you're looking at the overall trend of where the market is going. So again, do your due diligence. Numbers can be manipulated in plenty of ways. For example, you can say foreclosures increased 100%, and that could mean going from 5 to 10. Going down to the average price, which is what everybody wants to know, are the values just falling out of the sky? We're down 0.1% month over month. We are up 6.7% year over year. Median price, which is what I typically like to pay most attention to, is going to be 1.3% down month over month and 1.4% up year over year. So we went from 375 to 370 from August to September. And when you actually compare this to the drastic change between last year, September, and the year before, which would be 2021, it was a much steeper decline. We're sort of handling the higher interest rate environment better this go around. I think because the shock value between coming from 3% back in January of 2022, going all the way up to the 5s and going all the way up to the 6.32, which it was back in September of 2022, was a bit more jarring for folks during that time period. And so things kind of dramatically slowed down in that Q3, Q4. Fast forward to now, the average mortgage rate recorded for September was 7.29, so practically a point higher than it was last year, yet still our days on market are 41 for September comparative to last September where it was 31, and we're just under 200 sales off in regards to closed sales between the two September. And speaking of interest rates, shout out to Tim from Best Buy over in Winter Garden. I was there yesterday to pick something up, and he recognized me from the channel. So shout out to you. We were talking and he asked me this question, which I think a lot of people are probably asking also, which is, are people still buying homes with 8% interest rates, man? Because if you don't know, rates did hit 8% in the month of October. So this is all-time unaffordability for home buyers out there. And so it's definitely a deserving question. And my answer is yes, there obviously are people who are buying for various different reasons. But I think the foundation of the question is, how is it affordable if they're not buying cash, which about 30% of sales in Orlando still are. But if you are a part of that 70%, what is going on? And so with my clients, we're very rarely buying at the prevailing rate that it's at. Reason being, either we're looking at new construction that's going to close within 30 to 45 days. Those typically have the best incentives. As a matter of fact, I posted on my community page. Make sure to go follow that. It's here on YouTube. It should pop up for you. A home in Claremont, for example, they're offering a $40,000 incentive. Grabbing a hold of something like that where you can cover a large portion for the buy down and then use the rest towards getting closing costs covered. And so it's a really good deal when it comes to new construction. But even if you are going resale, a lot of what I am advising clients to do is let's kind of, for the moment, take our eyes off of the ones that just pop on the market. And let's look at the ones that have been sitting for a while to have the greatest opportunity to match up to what some of these builders are offering, because it's a lot different to get $40,000 out of a seller versus getting that out of a builder. One is emotionally based, the other one is simply looking at numbers for the most part. And so there are opportunities for you out there if you do want to pursue a home. I think the whole question, I think it's not even a question anymore. It's not the best time to buy for a lot of folks. It's also not the worst time to buy for a lot of folks either. I think a lot of people tend to look at this through one lens, but I know a ton of people who could not compete when rates were at 2.5. They didn't have $10,000, $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 to bid over ask or waive an appraisal or cover an appraisal gap. And so for them, albeit more expensive now on a monthly basis, more likely, they do have more of an option of the home that they actually choose. They can actually sit through a weekend. And back then, the deal was getting the house. Now you can actually be a bit more selective about where you want to live, one, and two, you can get it under better terms, typically less than you would have paid given if interest rates were still at 3-4% today. And so yeah, I really do believe it's a good time for some, and I also wholeheartedly believe it is a terrible time for others, and something I'm constantly working through with the clients that reach out to me via YouTube or just whenever to try to figure out which bucket they lie in based on their personal situation, their timeline, their outlook, all that kind of stuff. So let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Days on market didn't do anything, 41 days still, 75 days to close. And so we're pretty much stagnant there. This is what I bought from Tim over at Best Buy. So look forward to some really different type of content when it comes to Orlando. That's all I'll say for now. Take care.